committee meeting ends, I'm assuming with nothing happening.
Basically what happened is I went in and I talked about why gender neutral bathrooms are important, why it's important for trans students to be able to pick the sports team that they play on, why I'm not taking away an opportunity from anybody else by wanting to be voted prom king, and like it's a vote anyway, so what's the chances of you actually getting this spot that you want? It's not up to you, it's up to the class. And talking about my safety as a student in the classroom of like, our chemistry class should not have to end 20 minutes early because there's a fight happening in the middle of the class and our teacher's tired of hearing it. So he dismisses class early because that side of the room is yelling about how I am disgusting and an animal and shouldn't be acknowledged and like ruining everybody's lives basically, versus everybody telling them to shut up because I'm now like having an anxiety attack in the middle of a classroom and the teacher doesn't know what to do. So he just ended class. And how unsafe and unfair that is for me that I'm losing my education because other people can't mind their own business.
Mm-hmm. Once again, we're humans.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just going to keep saying that.
Exactly. So then actually my dad came in and started yelling about how this is the future, and if you can't accept the future, then like you've already lost, and people told me that we would never have a black president, but Obama's in office right now, so like tell me that we're not progressing. To go home to him yelling about how he now has a daughter that he can never call a daughter. So that was always back and forth.
Signals are tough.
So it was that on top of this board meeting that went nowhere, and they said that there was going to be a follow-up, which never happened. I had to go through the school attorney to find any sort of information on trans rights. I had to fight with not so much fight with my guidance counselor, he was more on my side. But we were going against administration and our principal to get gender neutral bathrooms. In the end of all of this, we ended up with I think either 4 or 5 gender neutral bathrooms in the high school.
Well done. Well done.
There were regulations sent out to our high school and any high schools that were in our sports divisions that trans students are allowed to choose what gender team they want to play for.
Good.
But they has to be consistent. So if I choose them playing for the males team, then I have to be on boys soccer, boys basketball,
right,
and baseball. So it's consistent. That ballots for prom and elections or whatever are technically gender neutral. You can't tell one person, like you can't tell any woman that they can't be voted for prom king if that's the side that they want to run for. So all ballots for things like that were made gender neutral. And they did a training for our staff from, I can't remember if they came from the Pride Center or another organization, but they had them come up and do a staff training and then talk more to the students when we did our bullying assembly in the beginning of the year about the LGBTQ community and identified trans students like they exist. And
you had to be both terrified and proud of yourself at the exact same time.
Oh, I was so afraid, but like it was the sort of afraid where I'm so excited about what's going to happen in the future that I'm now scared what's going to happen in the future because like this is insane. And after I came out and all these things happened, we had people in surrounding schools come out and like, I'm gender nonconforming, I'm non-binary, I'm also trans. And like, it was like a sweep across upstate New York.
There was just somebody, they were waiting.
Yeah.
They were waiting to see, okay, this person survived this. Yes, it was hard on them, but they survived it. You paved the way.
I did my best.
That's what you did. Now, let's go to the prom. The election happens. Were you on the ballot?
So we were going to do a court of 6. We ended up deciding to do a court of 5 in the beginning of the year. If we had done a court of 6, I would have been on court. There was a 3-way tie for the last 2 places, and it was myself and 2 other kids who like, they were jocks. Everybody knew who they were. And like when it came down to it and I saw the ballot, I was like, I already know what's up. But the point that the fact that I was even able to be voted on that side, I was part of this tie for those places on this court. Like,
you were recognized.
Exactly.
Your authentic self was validated by your peers in that election.
And for me to even get enough votes to come back and be on this piece of paper, I was amazed. I never thought it would happen.
Now, that was your junior year. Mm-hmm. This all happened then. Did you go to the same school your senior year?
Yes.
Now, so you worked hard. When the Pride organization was doing the advocacy at the school, were you up there on stage with them, or were you one of the students at that point, or what was happening with you during that? Because I've seen advocacy and work in certain places, and I've seen the students come to be self-advocates in front of their peers, and that's impressive.